What's happening, everybody? It's Sean, joined again by my son, Trey, and today we're going to give you a reaction, a review, whatever you want to call it, to go into our first ever Bruce Springsteen concert last night at the time of this filming, February 10th, 2023, in Dallas, Texas. Now, I'm 51. Trey, you're only 27.
Mm-hmm.
You got an excuse. I don't. I mean, a little background. If you watch this channel, you know I'm a huge Springsteen guy. He's my all-time favorite solo artist. Maybe my all-time favorite artist. Him and the Beatles are 1A, 1B. I'm doing a ranking right now of every single album, songs worst to best, and it'll culminate with us together doing a discography ranking, and I'll also rank his top however many songs. I'm going to rank every one of his songs. So that's a little background of where we are with Bruce. But you want to kind of give us a background of the crowd and the environment before we kind of jump into the concert?
Yeah, so this was his fifth stop on the tour right now, right? I was impressed, by how just chill and overall nice everybody was around us, and definitely skewed older. I was one of the youngest people in the building.
It skewed way older, yeah.
But there was definitely a communal type of I think environment in there as well, agree. Especially once we really ramped up on the tracks and got into the encore and all that good stuff. But it was just an incredible time and one of the best concerts I've ever been to.
Yeah, it was the best concert I've been to, but I've been connected to this guy since I was 13 years old and Born in the USA came out, so it's kind of a surreal thing. We saw McCartney about almost 4 years ago. That was surreal, but I mean, I'd only started listening to the Beatles a lot whenever we got this channel, so it wasn't the same as like, I've done life with this guy.
Connection.
Yeah, we had a great couple that sat next to us, super nice. They were really into it. I think the only minor quibble with the crowd, and I get it because I've got some issues physically as well, but I would have liked to have stood up.
Mm-hmm. And we were, we were in the upper deck.
Yeah, because a lot of other people down below, you don't want to be the guy to stand up and block everybody. But I think, Trey, finally you did it, and then everybody else just wrote.
I was all like, I got to stand up in the encore, man. But the acoustics that were, I thought, really well, just so professionally mixed. Bruce, you could hear the vocals. They weren't drowned out by the horns or any of the guitar solos or keys. And it was a rock show, man. It was loud all night.
It was very loud.
It was great.
Mine were still ringing this morning. And one thing I'll say, the American Airlines Center where this was at is not a great concert venue.
No.
I've been to other concerts there that did not sound good, but Bruce's system is just so high tech, and when you got a lot of money in a tour, you can do that. So he sounded fantastic. Now a couple little things. Susie wasn't there, and Stevie Van Zandt, little Stevie, was not there because they had COVID. So I really felt fortunate, Trey, that A, it didn't knock out more people, or B, it just didn't stop the show. So it's going to Houston next, and then Austin. Kudos to those people. I hope Bruce doesn't get it and gets knocked out, but I think it actually made him maybe even give a little more.
I could tell he was fired up, and he let the crowd know, like after I think the fifth or sixth song that they were out, and I thought that was smart too, just so people weren't speculating like where's Stevie at.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could just tell the passion and just the fire that he had, even at 73 years old.
It's
just
amazing.
A consummate showman, man, and. There were times where he, even towards the encore, Dad went out into the crowd.
Yeah, he went out to the crowd on 10th Avenue Freeze Out. It was unbelievable.
He unbuttoned the shirt, man. And even Dad, the pit, he would go out, interact with them a lot. A lot of energy from him, and I really do think a lot of that was contributed to wanting to give the people of Dallas the best show possible, and kind of thinking, oh man, we're missing a couple members. Let's bring it. And I think all the other musicians on the stage really brought it too.
Nils was fantastic. Max was unbelievable on the drums, and then Jake Clemens is just,
he really blew me away.
It's just unbelievable with the whole brass section. And we're not going to go over the whole set list or anything, guys. You can find that online. He played 27 songs, but he started out with No Surrender, which he's been starting out with, and then Ghost. And then I thought we got to the third song, Prove It All Night, and that's when you kind of looked over at me and you're like, man, he's bringing it. Like,
oh, definitely. And it is so interesting to hear these songs, even the songs like Ghost off of Letter to You, in that live context with the backing band and the horn section, and even the gospel singers that were back there. The musicianship was just so tight the entire night.
It was unbelievable.
It was incredible, really. Dad, I think looking at the set list too, I thought it was a great blend of everything from Born. Your main stuff was, of course, the Born to Run, Darkness, Born in the USA, and a lot of the Wild Innocent and E Street Shuffle as well, and then a handful of tracks from Letter to You, and then some choice cuts from your Nebraska. There was one song from the river. So
I thought it was really done. We're all big Springsteen fans. You're watching this, I imagine. I could make you another set list of 27 that I wished he would have played or more, but it is what it is. I thought overall I thought it was a really good set list. I think highlights looking at Kitty's Back was the 8th song. Now, if you watch my song rankings, I mean, I don't love that song, but live, that song was all of it was unbelievable. Baritone sax solo that was insane. Like all of it was just insane. It was the finest example of the musicianship you were talking about.
Yeah, that might have been top 3. It was definitely top 5 of the night for me.
I agree. And I don't even love that song.
They stretched it out probably 12, 13 minutes, I'd say. And something cool they're doing on this tour, too, is about a week after the fact, they're allowing you to go and buy the audio, the professional audio mix for like $15.
We'll be doing that.
That's kind of cool, too. And as you were mentioning, Dad, doesn't... kind of make you worried like, oh, I got to record this. No, it's interesting, being to shows that skew, kind of my age range, and like the difference in the amount of phones that were out compared to weren't was kind of cool. I kind of like the throwback nature where everybody wasn't up there.
Yeah, so old people just let's just enjoy it, right? Sorry if you want to capture a few things, but another couple of highlights. Johnny 99, an electric version of that, which I never heard. I thought that was awesome. Then he gets to Last Man Standing, a track off Letter to You from 2020. But I think what he did, because I think a lot of people there don't know his newer stuff.
Yeah, the Letter to You stuff.
Yeah, so I think, it was interesting. He tells this long story of how this song came about, which I knew how it came about because I love that album. But and I think that drew everybody into the song, even though they didn't know it. Everybody was invested, hanging on every word. Oh, what's he saying here? And I thought that was a very, very smart thing to bring everybody in on that one.
Oh, 100%. And I thought his interaction just with the whole night with the crowd was really strong too. And, getting us involved at certain points, doing the oohing and the ahhing when the call and responses kind of called for it in the certain tracks. So, that just again, I think you could bring someone to that even that wasn't a Springsteen fan.
That's what I would think.
And even if they only knew a couple, songs that maybe were in the encore, they would still just be blown away by just the energy, and the vocals of Bruce too were on fire the entire night. But also, it was just a good rocking time, a good way to spend a Friday night.
It was, and our last 10 tracks were just unreal. The Rising, Badlands, Thunder Road, and then they do a quasi. We're off, we're going off, and we got to cheer for the encore. They don't even bother leaving. I mean, it was probably like 30 seconds. They didn't even bother leaving. Then we get the Detroit medley, which he said, Dallas, this is just for you. And it has not been played yet of just, some of the old classics. Yeah. It was great. It built and everybody really got into it. And then, of course, Born to Run about blew the roof off the house. And then Rosalita, even though I felt like some of the people really weren't into that, the longer it went, the more people. Oh, yeah. It just drew you in. It's infectious.
And it was interesting, too, in the encore, they kind of put the house lights on.
They did.
You could see everything.
I thought that was smart, too.
And so you could really just see everybody having a great time moving. And again, like I said, a very communal, it was like taking a musical church.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's what I almost felt like a religious experience. And we're both Christians, so I don't throw that around lightly. Then we did Glory Days, Dancing in the Dark. 10th Avenue Freeze Out, where he does the band introductions, and like you were talking about earlier, he goes out in the crowd. And then the East Street Band leaves, and he finishes off with I'll See You in My Dreams, which is the last track on Letter to You, and his last track. And I know a lot of people online are saying, Bruce does everything intentionally. This is a very well put together show. Is this a goodbye? Is that why
I've been reading that on the Reddit?
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I mean, he looks great. Maybe the East Street Band, because they're all in their 70s as well. Bruce is 73, Stevie's 72. I think Max is 71, Nils is 71. I mean, they're up there. So, it could be maybe for the East Street or for This Way, but it was just fantastic, man. It was just unbelievable. And I think you already hit on it, but the charisma, the family type atmosphere everybody had, Bruce is a very giving front man. He invites everybody up there. He's not, I liked one time him and Jake went around to the back because there's seats in the back that are blocked by the stage and sung to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Went to the side. I mean, this guy's aware of everyone and, really wants to put on a show. So we went as a whole crew, my wife Gina said that's the thing she really stood out for her is the family environment. Like they were just all in it together. And even my 16-year-old daughter, Mackenzie, she loved it. So it was fantastic. What are your final thoughts, man?
I would say 100% if you're even a marginal Springsteen fan to go and catch this. As you were saying, Dad, you never know. We've seen so many, not to get morbid, but we've seen so many deaths, from big names. Not that I'm saying Bruce is about. I mean, he's in great shape, like you said,
he is, but you never know.
You never know. It just with the whole band being in their 70s, I think their talent wise, shoot, it looks like they could go for another 10, 15 years the way they're going.
Yeah,
right?
and Bruce's guitar work on that, I didn't mention, he is just an unbelievable guitarist.
Yeah, I think him and Nils really stepped up, with Stevie not there. They were just on fire. But, it's one of those things I always tell people, and I know you do too as well, Dad. Like, if you have the opportunity to see someone, you never know when it'll be the last time they roll through your town or whatever the case may be. And, playing in these venues, I know he's going over to Europe for a while too. Rumors are he'll come back then and do a stadium tour of the U.S. As well. So I'm hoping they roll through somewhere.
Oh yeah, I got to go see him again. I can't believe I waited. So I'm jealous of everybody out there who's been watching him for 40 years. I could see why you go over and over. We were actually trying to find a way to make it work where we could go to some of these that are near us for the next few weeks, but because of our work schedules, it's impossible to get out of. But I would move. I would move heaven and earth almost to get there. But I think Trey's advice is exactly right. If you can go, man. It's the best live show I've ever been to. If you love Springsteen, if you even like him, most of the secondary tickets in most areas are cheaper than the face value was right on the night of the concert. Try to make it work, man. But what a fantastic experience when it was over. The only sad part was that it was over, man. I woke up this morning going, man, I wish we could do that again. And that's how you know it was a fantastic concert. So if you've been to this show, let us know down below what you thought of it or other shows. There's only been 5 so far, guys, but check out our Bruce Springsteen playlist. It's got the rankings in there. We did reviews of tons of his albums, guys. Give us a thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button. We have 2,200 videos. You're going to find something that you like. Until next time, guys, we will see you.